Hey, what is up, guys? Blunt Guts here. This is a Watch Over Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I appreciate that as well. So, it's Dahlia morning here. We've got Dahlia's banner is active. I don't know if you're pulling. I'm trying to wait until Friday. I've gone back and forth at least 5 or 6 times today about whether or not I'm going to pull any today, but I think I'm going to try to hold on. We'll see if I go back on my word, though. My willpower is not so strong when it comes to these games. I'm sure many of you can understand that. So what I did do was work through this Witch's Call challenge mode here. Witch's Call is Dahlia's exclusive event, as we've seen with some of the previous exclusives like Falcia and Reeve that have gotten these events. It's a cool little feature. It's kind of fun. We can take a look at the rankings here and just see. You can see there's a lot of folks that are using Dahlia and just a lot of AoE damage, a lot of AoE magic damage is what's getting it done here. This fight is largely based around applying continuous damage. So if you're familiar with the Arbiter of Frost, it's not quite as dramatic as that, but you are rewarded for using continuous damage. In this case, the main sources of continuous damage that you want to consider are going to be poison, bleed, and burning. Those are the 3 that do get enhanced in this fight. When I say enhanced, I'm talking about these Apotheosis relics, and I'm going to mess up saying the word Apotheosis at least 5 or 6 times in this video, I am sure. I apologize in advance. It's a true tongue twister for your boy, so I'm having some trouble with that. But with that said, basically, the dragon is going to periodically do a big AoE on everybody in the map, and afterwards, you're going to be presented with 3 options. You're going to be able to pick different bonuses that are presented to you, many of which do have to do with the 3 damage types that I did mention: poison, burning, and bleed. Now, depending on your team comp, you're probably going to want to go down a particular path. If you are bringing a lot of poison, then the poison path is probably best for you. If you are stacking physical damage dealers, so for example, if you're bringing in a lot of AoE marksmen or something like that, or if you have a bunch of ranged fighters that are doing physical damage, then the bleed track might be best for you. However, if you have neither of those things, then you probably want to go down the burning track. That has been my experience. I don't really have strong heroes that apply either bleed or poison, so I have gone down the burning track. That has gotten my burning track. That doesn't sound quite right, does it? The burning stuff has really produced the best results for me. So that would be my advice to you, is that if you are similarly limited by your roster, then I think that would be the easiest way to go about it. Let's get into the boss. Let's talk about that. Before I go any further, I will say I do have chapters set up in this video, so please do feel free to jump around, watch only what you want to watch. I'm going to be doing a brief discussion of the mechanics of the fight, then I'm going to follow up with a run, and then finally I'm going to go over the gear that I have on my heroes. Disclaimer, the comp that I'm using right here is not super free-to-play friendly. I do have some really good heroes in there, but I will discuss some options that you have to swap in. Even if you can't get to 40 million, it'll still get you further than you know, you can get to 16K. I'm very confident in that by using a similar comp and just replacing a few of the heroes that I am using if you don't have them. So with that said, let's get into the mechanics of the fight. So we've got Thanatos. He is the big green dragon that you see on the screen here. He is the boss of this encounter. However, we're not actually going to hit him. So it's HP, attack, defense, magic resist. None of it really matters. I guess the attack actually does, because he will be attacking you. We just won't be able to directly attack him. Instead, he's going to take damage when we kill the minions that he is summoning from these 3 green portals that are in front of him. Essentially, throughout the fight, he's going to continuously summon waves from those green portals. Now, the next wave is not going to spawn until you clear the current wave, so you want to take care of them as quickly as possible. The rate of enemies that are spawned out of there is completely dependent on how fast you can kill them. So the faster you kill them, the more damage you're going to get on the boss, because as soon as one of the minions dies, he does damage to the boss, and that's how you rack up points in this game mode. So you want to clear the enemies quickly and keep churning out new waves as much as possible. So you can take a look at his skills here. Netherbolt deals damage to a random hero on the field and inflicts continuous damage on the target for 5 seconds. I haven't really noticed this being an issue. in the attempts that I have done. So I don't think this is something that you need to be particularly concerned about, other than you should be bringing a healer to keep your DPS up. That is advisable. Netherbound Legion, upon entering the battlefield, opens a gate that periodically summons corrupted minions to launch attacks. Those are the 3 green portals that I am talking about that are right in front of the boss. Corrosive Breath releases Corrosive Breath periodically, dealing high magic damage to all heroes 1 time. Rotten Rage, actually I should also say that Corrosive Breath, I believe that is the AoE that he does prior to you being able to select one of 3 options from the Apotheosis relics. That's something that that should be your indicator that you're going to get a buff, essentially, that you can choose. Finally, Rotten Rage, Thanatos periodically unleashes his Fury, increasing his attack and the HP, attack, defense, and magic resist of his corrupted minions that appear later. So he's going to continue to stack this Rotten Rage buff on himself. That's going to also increase the stats of the minions that are being deployed out of the 3 green portals that are in front of him. Finally, Forsaken Affiliation, or excuse me, Forsaken Affliction, I can't read. Immune to all enemy damage, but shares his HP with all his corrupted minions. When a corrupted minion perishes, receives damage. So that's the mechanic I was talking about, where you kill the minions, and then they, in turn, their death does damage to the boss himself. So that is kind of the structure of the fight. One more thing that I will draw your attention to, all of the minions in this fight do have this Blighted Corporeality skill, and basically that reads: increases HP attack, defense, and magic resist. This effect will end after being inflicted with continuous damage. So they're going to continue to increase their stats so long as they don't have a continuous damage debuff on them. So you want to get those out as quickly as possible. If you don't, you're going to be struggling in this fight. That is for sure. However, the nice thing is that these Apotheosis relics that do come out, I wish they had a list of them. That would be nice. However, they do basically provide you with bonuses when you apply your burning, poison, or bleed effects. On top of that, there are some of them that do cause your heroes to have a chance to apply some of these effects when they do hit an enemy. So you don't necessarily have to bring in heroes that innately do that type of damage, either poison, bleed, or burning. You're going to be able to acquire that in the fight. And especially early on, the enemies are very, very weak, so you shouldn't really have a problem if you don't bring those damage types in with you. I think you're better off bringing strong AoE damage dealers, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of AoE. That is the plan. Let's get into a fight. Let's see if I can't get to 40 million and show you how I did it. I guess the last thing I will say is that of these 3 damage types, I think that burning is the most accessible one. I'm sure that if you have good poison heroes, maybe if you have Dahlia already, then the poison track might be good. If you are bringing in a physical damage heavy team, so likely a lot of AoE marksmen, maybe you've got Nyx in there, maybe you're, well, I was gonna say Pelagios, but he is magic damage. I don't know who else you would potentially be bringing in. I guess maybe somebody just got Kai, if you're bringing in Kai. I don't know what other physical damage dealers. Maybe ranged fighters might be another one. Like if you have an Arrogance in there and you're bringing Ardea in and that kind of thing, then you might be getting more benefit out of bleed. But I think the vast majority of folks are going to be bringing in AoE magic damage dealers. And so burning is going to be the right track to pick, because the burning bonuses are more geared towards magic damage than they are physical damage. Bleeding, on the other hand, those bonuses are more geared towards physical damage. So that's the track that you should go down. Let's get into a fight. Let's see if we can't get to 40 million, and then I will break down the team and gearing afterwards. So you can see I am running a Northerner and a Esotericist team. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Comet here, and then my Boreas is going to be on this in the same spot but opposite of him. Then we're going to drop in Greed on the left side in the top tile. Cade is going to go right above Comet on the right-hand side. We're going to drop in Hollow here for heals. We're going to drop in Elowin on the right side for heals. And then we're going to drop in our Ardea below this pillar on the left-hand side, and Valkyra below this pillar on the right-hand side. And we created kind of a kill box here where we're getting a lot of damage in on enemies. It is important, if you are using fighters, that you make sure that you are putting them in a spot where they are going to be in range of those spawn points. As you can see, both Ardea and Valk, actually their attack range is going to extend all the way into the the spawn point there. So they're going to be able to attack immediately. That is super duper helpful. I am going to put the ultimate usage on auto. I haven't really found a significant difference between doing it manually and otherwise, so I don't really feel like there is a reason to sit there and do this extremely slowly. With that in mind, I'm just going to put on 2x speed. So we're just going to churn through these early mobs relatively quickly. Eventually, he is going to do an AoE right here. There he goes, and we're going to be presented with our first choice of 3 Apotheosis relics. So we've got Venomous Seal. Dealing damage has a 10% chance to inflict poison. That is kind of what I was talking about. The game is giving you the opportunity to, by default, apply, or a 10% chance anyway, to apply poison when your heroes do attack enemies. We've got another poison modifier here. Soul Blight 1, each stack of poison inflicted on the monster increases their damage taken by 40%. And then we've got Back to Basics 1, heroes basic attack damage plus 10%. This is got to be the worst selection of initial ones that I've seen through this point. I am gonna pick the poison one. I don't really want to. I want burning, like I said before, but we're gonna work with what they give us, obviously. One thing I will say is that when you do pick a track, you should probably just continue to go down it. Now we are early, so if given the opportunity, I am going to switch to burning, but if we aren't given that opportunity, I may just have to go down the poison track, because stacking these bonuses on top of one another is how you kind of increase your power level, and you need to do that throughout the fight, because things are going to get more challenging over time. So let's see what we got here. So Cruel Intentions. Dealing damage has a 20% chance to inflict bleed, so this is kind of the counterpart to the poison one that I picked in the first selection. We've also got some defensive buffs that do come in. Every 30 seconds, all heroes gain a shield equal to 40% of max HP for 20 seconds. That could be good for Valk for sure. However, I don't think it's worthwhile doing that. I guess we're going to go for more poisons here. We don't have any physical damage, so except for Ardea, so bleed is really not going to do much for us regardless, so we're just going to go down this poison track. Maybe we can pick up some burning on the way later on. That would be amazing for sure. And yeah, other than that, we're just going to basically let this kind of go on its own. It is a long fight. It's 7 minutes in duration, I think, is when it starts. Looking at the damage here, the damage is not linear. You are going to be getting more damage stats the longer the fight goes along, because the enemies are going to be have higher stats, meaning that when they die and they do damage to the boss, they're going to do more damage in turn as well. So we've got each basic attack restores heroes 3% HP. There's really no need for that. Each stack of poison inflicted on the monster increases their magic damage taken by 40%. Yeah, I mean, that would be decent, honestly. I do like that. I guess we're going poisons, right? We have not gotten a burning Apotheosis relic to this point, so we are going to just hope that I get different results doing poisons this time than I did in the past. I really haven't had much luck with the poison setup, but maybe it'll work this time. Who knows? Maybe I get the right combo of Apotheosis relics. Here we go. We're going to get another choice here. Let's see what we got here. So monster's poison damage taken increases by 200%. Now, as much as I like the idea of that, it sounds good. The thing is, I think really the idea is to get the poison debuff on them and then get the other effects. The poison damage itself is not going to be all that great, because we want to kill them quickly, and this is kind of a damage over time effect. However, the rest of these, the one on the left is a lesser version of the same one, so that doesn't make any sense to take. The one in the middle, Swift Recovery. When a dodge fails, the hero restores an extra 10% max HP every second for 10 seconds. This effect can only be triggered one time every 20 seconds. Kind of useless, unfortunately, so we are going with Envenom 3 here. We're gonna really just sell out on the poison damage. Let's see, maybe I can surprise myself here. We're just gonna keep on keeping on and waiting for that next Apotheosis relic. This is not a very exciting fight at the end of the day, but you do have to have kind of the right setup and make some good selections in order to have success in it. So as you can see, the rate that we're accumulating these points is kind of accelerating. So that is good. Let's see what we got here. So Protection 2, We looked at that the last time. That's a shield every 30 seconds. We do not need that. And then we've got Writhing Torment 1 and 2. So I guess we're going to go with Writhing Torment 2, which is when a monster is inflicted with poison, reduces their magic resist by 60% for 8 seconds. That is big for us because we are all magic damage. This is one of those kind of combined benefit that I was talking about, where it's not the poison damage that's really helping us. It is the debuffs that go along with having the poison debuff on enemies that is really, really helpful. So that is something that we are looking for sure. So we're still churning through these at a pretty good clip at this point. There we go. We're going to get another selection here. Now, one thing that I'm not clear on, and if you do know, maybe sound off in the comments and let me know. I'm not sure if these different amplifiers stack. So for example, in Venom 3 here, I think 2 or 3 selections ago, we did pick that. I don't know if now I will be getting 400% damage, or if it's just redundant to be doing the same thing over and over again with that one. The other 2 do not apply. There's a burning one. Finally, we got a burning Apotheosis Relic, and then we've got a bleed benefit as well. We're not going to do either of those, so I guess we're just going to use it, and we're going to hope that they stack, because otherwise we just got a bonus that's not going to do anything for us. One thing I will say, if you are ever trying to figure out which ones you have already picked here, you can go in here and you can see which ones you picked. You just have to click on this button over on the left-hand side, right below your score. So we're just continuing to churn through. I mean, they are dying relatively quickly, and we are almost at 30 million right now. Well, now we're really ticking up. We're definitely we're over 30 million at this point. And let's see what we got here. So we got some poison ones. Wonderful. The bleed one on the left, we don't need that. That's physical defense reduction, which is only going to help our Dahlia. So we're not interested in that. So we've got Writhing Torment 3. We've already got Writhing Torment 2 on, I believe. When a monster is inflicted with poison, reduces their magic resist by 80% for 8 seconds. I think we're at 60% right now? Well, I don't know. When a monster, and then the center one, Toxic Fallout 3, when a monster is inflicted with poison, there's an 80% chance to inflict 5 stacks of poison on their adjacent monsters that are not inflicted with poison for 10 seconds. I think that with the scale up of the damage, of the defensive stats of the minions, that we do need to go with the increased magic resist reduction. So let's do that, and hopefully that's going to net us some better results as we head into kind of this final minute or so where we're trying to clear 40 million. We are continuing to kill stuff, so that's obviously a great sign. Hopefully we can just get over that hump, and we're really going to be putting it down to the wire. Looks like we're going to be good. We are going to be quite good. So full poison team did work. We've only got 36 seconds left, so I don't think I'm going to choose the Rage Regen one, because that's not going to be all that impactful. Although, as I'm looking at it, maybe it will be. Maybe we get one more ultimate out of all of our heroes as a result of that, so I think that's the way that we will go. I don't think the other ones are going to give us the kind of benefit that we really, really are looking for here. Now, we do see our Valk just died, so we'll drop in Isolde there just to keep them off of the Soul Crystal. We are well clear, 42 million right there. That's the run. I did it with poison, but you can take all of that logic that I went through as far as which of the Apotheosis relics. I think I did pretty good on that, by the way. I don't know that I mispronounced it in this take, so hopefully I didn't. Hopefully I'm not making a liar of myself. But you can take that Apotheosis relic logic that I applied into my decisions in this one, and you can very easily port that over to the burning bonuses. I do think that is going to be an easier track for most people to follow. However, as I've just shown, there are viable tracks either way. I think the main difference is that if you are primarily magic damage, you are going to want to pick either poison or burning. If you are physical damage, you're probably locked into bleed, would be my guess. All right, let's take a look at the team here. So I'm going to skip both Venoma and Isolde. I don't even know if they have any gear on them, truth be told, and they're kind of irrelevant. I'm also not going to touch on Elowen or Hollow because they have pretty standard healer gear on them. I think Hollow's, I believe, in my Guild Boss gear, where She's just got crazy rage regen. She doesn't actually do a ton of healing. But as you saw, nobody actually died in that fight, so it wasn't really needed. So let's take a look at Boreas here. Boreas is in Soulbound Arcana. It is quite good gear. He has 17k attack. He's got 340% ish crit damage. He's crit capped, obviously, 315 or 49 speed, excuse me, and a 1.5 second attack interval. He does have quite a bit of rage regen at 40%. For an artifact, we do have him in a level 25 tier of Twilight. So let's take a look at our Comet here. Comet is also in Soulbound Arcana. I think in most cases, this is going to be the set you're going to be using on most of your heroes. However, obviously, some of them are better in Infernal Roar, but in this case, Comet is great in Soulbound Arcana. His stats, he does have 14.6k attack, which is significantly lower than Boreas. I think I've got 2 crit damage pieces on him. Also got him at crit capped. He's got 489 speed, so he's quite fast. He's got a 1.3 second attack interval. He does have 380% crit damage. No rage regen on him. I guess it wasn't needed. You've also got, let's see, artifact here, level 25 tier of Twilight, pretty standard. Excellent artifact. If you don't have a level 25 one, it's still worth using, so use your lower level one and feel good about it. Take a look at our Cade here. Cade is not skilled up. I should also mention Comet and Boreas are fully skilled up, so that is something to note. Cade here is also in Soulbound Arcana. Surprise, surprise. He's actually not quite crit capped, which is not what I should be doing. But I think he's in triple attack percent gear. He's got 17k, almost 18k attack. He's got 316 speed, which gives him a 1.6 second attack interval, 98.5% crit rate. Like I said, should be at 100 or above, but he's got 345.5% crit damage. So actually, after looking at these stats, I'm fairly confident he is in 2 attack bonus pieces on the right side, 1 crit damage piece on the right side. So solid gear for him, for sure. Warlord on the left, I think that is also the same with Comet and Boreas. All right, let's take a look at our Ardea here. Ardea has Infernal Roar on. She's got Warlord on the left. We're stacking attack. She's got 28k attack. I think she's in 2 times attack bonus pieces, 1 times crit damage piece. She's got 318% crit damage, 100% crit rate. Her attack speed is at 340, which gives her a 1.4 second attack interval. As far as an artifact, I do have her in a Realm Tear. We've also got, where are you, Val? There she is. Valkyra, also in a Realm Tear. We've got Warlord on the left, Infernal Roar on the right. Very similar setup. As far as her stats, she's at 17.7k attack. She does have 342 attack speed, which gives her a 1.5 second attack interval, 100%, 101.5% crit rate, but she is crit capped, 333.5% crit damage, no rage regen to speak of. She is quite nice. As I said, she is in a Realm Tear. I think the final 2, or final 1 actually, is just Greed here. And Greed is also in Soulbound Arcana. He is, honestly, probably could use some more attack. I think I should probably switch that up, but 12.2k attack. He does have 413 attack speed. Attack speed is nice on him because he's there more than anything just to put out a debuff and also to slow everybody down. So he does a great job of that because he has such a low cost ultimate. I mean, 300 cost or something ridiculous like that. So he is using that ultimate all the time. 102% crit rate, 351% crit damage. Like I said, 1.9 second attack interval at 413 speed. I do have him in my not maxed out tier of Twilight. It is only rank 3 at this point. So got some room to grow, I guess. But nice job from Greed in that. All right, let's talk about what you can do to kind of swap these teams around if you don't have all these heroes. Like I said, Venoma is not geared, so you don't necessarily need to have her. You could bring in Raiden if you wanted to. Raiden would do just fine. He'd be able to provide, only 10% attribute bonus rather than 15 like Venoma, but Venoma's Lord skill is not really doing anything other than giving everybody a full rage bar when they first jump in. But that really doesn't matter in a 7-minute fight. It's really not important. So very replaceable. Boreas and Comet, and I will group them together. Honestly, probably toss Cade in there as well, because Cade isn't doing anything special. They're just providing AoE damage. You do have other damage dealers, AoE damage dealers that you would like to use. They could certainly be replacing her. You could use Dahlia, for example, would probably provide quite a bit on this fight. I have seen her in some of the rankings where they're showing the best comps that have been put out there. Dahlia does appear in a bunch of them, so she's very good in this. You could also be using an Abizu, would be great. Really, any AoE magic damage dealer would work in this comp in substitute for any of those 3 heroes. As far as the bottom team here, Greed, you could probably toss a Mari in there to add some slows. She's not going to do it quite as well as Greed does, but she would be able to at least slow everybody down a little bit and then give you more time to damage the minions before they tapped around and got to the soul crystal, so that is important. Obviously, Valkyria and Ardea are great as long-range fighters, but if you wanted to swap in let's say like a Fallon or an Arrogance, or I don't think that Zilla 2 would work because you really do want that AoE damage, I think is really what's important. So you prefer to have AoE fighters, long-range fighters, if you could. I think you could, if you have a Uridin, that would certainly work. I think you could also, nobody has Magda yet, but if you are watching this on Friday, June 14th or later, then if you've pulled Magda, she would be a great option in here as well. Other than that, I think that, as far as the healers are concerned, bring whatever rage regen you have. If you are trying to get 40 million on this fight, I assume you have Hollow at minimum at this point. You should certainly bring her in. Other than that, I don't think it's going to make or break. I think that you can probably get this done by being a little bit more intentional with your gearing than I was, and probably hoping for some good RNG, some good Apotheosis relics, some good luck with that. And I think that you can certainly get it done if you are determined. So that's my advice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. Good luck on your summons. I hope you all have a great day.